I've been playing guitar for more than 40 years, and today I'm going to show you how to play Bon Jovi's 1987 power ballad about life on the road, Wanted Dead or Alive. Good morning, and thank you for dropping by to learn another great song with me here on the couch. Boy, do we have a good one for you today. In 1986, with 2 full-length albums and 2 world tours under their belts, Bon Jovi released the album that would change all of their lives forever. Slippery When Wet spent 38 weeks in the top 10, including 8 weeks at number 1, and became the number 1 selling album of 1987. The album produced 4 top 10 singles: Bad Medicine, Living on a Prayer, Never Say Goodbye, and today's tutorial, Wanted Dead or Alive. The song's unforgettable black and white video greatly captured the feeling of life on the road, and the song was in frequent rotation on both rock radio and MTV. Stick with me after the lesson and we'll talk more about the song, the band, and a lot more. For now, let's jump right in and learn that unmistakable acoustic intro riff. Our song is in standard tuning, and our intro riff starts out all the way up at the 13th and 14th fret. Couple points of interest. One is that we are only playing the D, the G, and the high E strings. And the pattern is always going to be D open, G fretted, E fretted, and then we're going to end back on the G. Couple ways we can play it. One is we can play it all picked, but it's fairly fast, and jumping over that B string with your pick gives you more opportunity for error. So I like to hybrid pick it. So I pick the D, I pick the G, and then with my middle finger I pluck the high E and then pick the G again. Another point of interest is that our fingers are either going to be a half step apart like this, and when that's the case, always the one that's on the high E string, my index finger, is going to be the one closest to the headstock. So they're either in this shape or they're in this shape, like right on top of each other. Again, they're only on the G and the E strings. So the first one is going to be here at 13 for the E and 14 for the G, and it sounds like. Then we're going to go down to 12 and 12. Then we're going to go down to 10 and 10. Then we're going to go down to 9 and 8. Or 8 and 9, however you want to say that. And then from there, there's a big jump. We're going to slide all the way down to 5 and 5. Then we're going to go to 4 and 3. And then we have this little lick. Just a little 2-note tail on the end of it. So right after we do our regular D, G, E, G, immediately we're going to pick 4 again and slide down to 2, and then we're going to play the high E string at 1, and that ends it, and then we go right back to the start. So it goes through it twice. Then we go to this lick. That is open on the A twice, slight bend on the A at 3, open D, slight bend at 3 on the D, open on the D again. Then we go to a D sus chord shape. So my index finger is on 2 of the G, middle finger is on 3 of the B, and the E string is open. I'm just going to play up 1, 2, 3, the E, the B, the G. So again. It actually goes through that little lick like that 3 times. The 4th time we have this. We're going to start it again with the 2 hits on the A, but instead of going back to the bend like we've done before, we're just going to hit that 3rd fret of the A string there one time, and then an F chord, and then a D chord. For me, when I play that, I always use my ring finger to hit it there because it gets me in the better position to hit my F chord. You could play the F chord up here, a bar chord, but it's much easier to get both from this 3rd fret to down here and also from this F to this D. So the open position style chords. Again, that part. One other thing I would like to mention about the intro is that I believe there are 2 versions. There's a longer version, probably on the record, and then there's a shorter version, which I think you hear on the radio and also that black and white video. The longer version, the lead up before the guitar where you hear the wind blowing and the wind chimes rattling, it's a little bit longer, and there are a couple of harmonics you hear real quick. So that is a natural harmonic at the 5th fret of the A string. So if you're not familiar with that, I'm not pushing down on the fret, I'm just lightly touching the string right above the fret. Makes kind of that bell chime sound. Do that at 5, and then I go up to 12. Do it again on the A string, and then the D string, and then there's a D sus chord that he plays, and then it goes right into the... So it's just a little bit longer lead in with those few notes before the intro riff actually starts. So let's get into the actual verse here. It starts with a D chord. That's going to be our verse. I know that I play my D chords wrong before anybody's tripping trying to figure out what I'm doing there, because nobody taught me how to play or form chords. I just figured out how to do it my own way. So I bar the 2nd fret of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, and I know other people do that too. And then I use my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. That's my D chord. It's probably easier to do it the right way, especially for this song. So I'll show you the right way here, where I've got the 2nd fret of the E and the G with my index and middle finger, and then my ring finger catches the 3rd fret of the B string. That's the proper way, right? So what we're going to do here, we're going to play the actual D chord a couple times. Then we have just a little scrub there, and we're going to pull off from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret of the E string. And then he goes to a D sus. So right after I do that, I'm going to lift my middle finger off of that E string to give us the D sus, and then back to the D. So it's... The way I do it is... So it's much more precise if you do it the right way there. But either way works. Then we go to the C add 9 to the G. Then you have this little lick. That's 3rd fret on the E string, open to hammer on to 2 on the A, and then open on the D. So C add 9 to the G to the lick. So again from the start. And then we're going to end with a G to an F to a D. And then it has a couple of quick little, that's just 1, 2, 3 on a D, and then 1, 2, 3 on a D sus. And then it goes right back into it. So at the end of the verse there, before we start the chorus, we have a little arpeggio again. It's just a D. We're going to play 1, 2, 3 with a D formed, and then go to a D sus and 1, 2, 3. Then we start the chorus. It's a C major, not a C add 9, but a C major to a G. And then we have the little lick that we learned a little bit ago, to an F chord, to a D. After the D, we're going to do the arpeggio again. So 1, 2, 3 strings on a D, D sus 1, 2, 3. Back to the C major, to the G with the lick. Right after the lick, we have the little dead or alive part. After the first one, we're going to do a D sus arpeggio, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 2 times with a little bit of a rhythm to it. Then we go back to the C again, to the G with the lick, to that part again, which is just 3rd fret of the A, slight bend, open D, slight bend on 3 on the D, to open D again. After the second time, after you play the little dead or alive piece, instead of doing the arpeggio, we're going to go back and we're going to start with the intro riff all over again. Plays it twice. Soon as you're done with that second time, it starts into the next verse. Just like we learned the first verse, but it starts out slightly differently. The 2 Ds, the first time it was like, so this time it's like a D with a little pause, and then the second D, as soon as we hit it, we're going to do that pull off and then to the D sus. Just like before. To the C add 9 to the G 2 times, and then the G to the F to the D, just like before. Same situation. The only thing that's a little bit different is those first 2 Ds. There's a little bit more pause between them. But when we did that intro riff, after we got done with the chorus, when we did the intro riff, the first time that we go down on the intro riff, when we get to about the 5th fret, we have our very first electric guitar fill, and it goes like this. That is a bend up on the 13th fret of the B string. Come back down and play it unbent. Then we're going to bend up 12 on the G, write it down without playing it, and then play 10 on the G. Then we're going to bend up 12 again on the G, but this time as we come down, we're going to pull off to 10, and then we're going to wind up at 12 on the D. After that, the acoustic guitar continues with that intro riff. It finishes it up, goes through a complete verse and then a complete chorus, and then after that next chorus we have the guitar solo, which starts like this. So that starts out with a slide on the low E string from 17 all the way down the fretboard. It's kind of a slow slide. Hit it at 17, let it resonate for a minute, and then slide it. And then we go from 5 to 3 on the A string. We're going to slide down and then back up to 5, and we're only going to play on the 5s. The next time we're going to play each note, so we're going to play 5, 3, and then 5. The third time we're going to slide to 3. We're going to pull off to open, but when we do, we're going to play it open but heavily palm muted and also just real quick like a ghost note, and then we're going to hit 5 again. So that's like one smooth motion. Then we go up to 5 on the D string. Artificial harmonics, so the pick is barely sticking out between my fingers. As soon as I hit the string is going to bounce off to the fleshy part of my thumb, making kind of that ringing sound. 4 times bent up on 5, and then come down, and 1 time on 3. We're going to come up here to the 10th fret of the G string, and we're going to do this lick. So that's a walk up 10 to 14 on the G, 13 to 15 on the B, 13 to 15 on the E, and then we're going to bend up 15 on the E, come down, play it unbent, play 13, and then back to 15 bent. Again. Pretty fast on the record. Then we're going to come back down here to the 5th fret, and we have this. So that's 2 palm muted hits on the A string open, and then we're going to play the 5th fret of the D string, but we're going to bend it at the same time with artificial harmonics. Another palm muted hit on the A, and then 5 on the A string with harmonics. Another palm muted hit on the A, and then we have this power chord index finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Play it once at 3 and 5, play it again, and then slide up to 5 and 7. So far, here's what we have. Next we have this. So that's just a hammer on from 3 to 5 on the A string, and then we're going to hit 3 on the D string with harmonics. Then we have this. That's a pull off from 5 to open on the A, and then palm muted 3, 5 on the A, 3 on the D, and then artificial harmonics. We're going to bend up 5 a couple times and then come back down and play 3. Then you have another quick lick right here. So that's 5 to 3, 5 on the A to 3 on the D, palm muted. Back to 5, 3, 5 on the A. Back to 3 on the D, still palm muted. And then we put the artificial harmonics and the bends back on it. Bend up 5 a couple times and then wind up at 3. So that whole little section is like this. Then after that we have this. That's a slide up on the D string to the 12th fret, and then we're going to go real quick 10-12 on the G. Then we're going to bend up 12 on the G. With our pinky, we're going to catch 13 on the B. And we're going to come back down. We're going to bend that 12 up again. This time we're going to catch 13 on the E. Come back down, bend it up again. This time catch 13 on the B. Come back down. This time we're going to bend it up and then come back down and go to 10 on the G. Each bend needs to be its own little thing, so don't let the notes continue to ring or it'll sound real messy. You have to stop them each time. And then the solo ends with this. So that's 3-5 on the A, very palm muted. And then 5-4-3 on the E. 1 on the E. And then back to this power chord at 3 and 5. I'm going to play it twice. The second time, slide it up to 5 and 7. From there, right after the solo, we go into the I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. So that's going to be a C power chord here to a G bar chord. If you're not familiar with bar chords, I'll post a link to my bar chord 101 video that seems to be real popular. People have said it's helped them a lot. Bar chords were a big milestone in my personal playing. So again, a C, you can do a power chord or an actual C bar chord here to the G. And then there's a little bit of pause, then we have the F to the D. Then we're going to come back C to G. Then we have the bend on the A, open D, bend D, open D again. Then we have that on a D chord, so it's just a D sus, and it just kind of slowly builds. And then we're back into the next verse. So we're going to go 2 Ds to a C to a G, to a C to a G, G, F, D. Again, 2 Ds, C, G, C, G, and then G, F, D. And then it ends back with and then a C, G, and then the lick. Then we go back acoustic guitar for one last round of the intro riff. First one is the same as it's always been. The second one though, the last one which ends the song, is slower. And then I kind of make the last notes when I slid down. I played them both at the same time instead of just sliding on the 4. I'm picking the 4, plucking the first string on 3, and then I let that stand out a little bit more for the end. And that's the end of the song, so thanks for watching. Wanted Dead or Alive is both a classic road song and also a quintessential example of the 80s big hair power ballad. John Bon Jovi has been quoted as saying that he played Bob Seger's Turn the Page for guitarist Richie Sambora and told him, "We need to write a song like that." Not long after, the two bandmates sat in Richie's mom's basement and penned Wanted Dead or Alive. As I remember, it was really the video that blew up the song. As a young man, John Bon Jovi had told his parents that he was going to be a rock star. That black and white behind-the-scenes video for Wanted Dead or Alive both documented that he was one and made the rest of us want to join him. Slippery When Wet was just the beginning for Bon Jovi. Their follow-up album, New Jersey, set a record for the most top 10 hits ever from a single rock record. Dead or Alive's lyrics and the video both hint at the darker side of rock stardom. By this point, just 3 albums into the band's career, the marriages and long-term relationships of every single member had been destroyed by life on the road. The single exception being John and his high school sweetheart Dorothea, who were able to later restore their relationship. They have 4 children and have been happily married since 1989. During the final thoughts period of every episode, I try to look at the spiritual aspects of the song and how it relates to things eternal. I could pretty easily talk about the downside of being a rock star, or at least living like one, but I feel like I did that on the last tutorial, which was ironically Blackfoot's Highway Song. I'll post a link for that video here. Instead, the thing my mind keeps going to for this song is its title, Wanted Dead or Alive. It brings to mind for me the fact that we are all wanted, that there is a great battle being waged right now in an unseen realm. In a dimension beyond our senses, the forces of good and evil, light and darkness are at war, and the prize they seek is us. Our souls, our eternal being. The evil one comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He's a liar and the father of lies. The other has come to give life and life more abundant. He offers the free gift of eternal life. Every day we all make choices, and those choices draw us either closer to the light or the darkness. As always, I'd encourage you to pick Jesus. I'd encourage you to seek Him with all of your heart. His word says that we've all sinned and come short of the glory of God, and that the wages of sin is death. That's the bad news. The good news is that the gift of God is eternal life, available through Jesus Christ our Lord. We are all, in fact, wanted. One side wants us dead, and the other side wants to give us life. Choose wisely, choose life, and choose now. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. If you like what we're doing here, I'll ask that you give us a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to our channel if you've not done that yet. And if you need a new set of strings, or if you'd like to own any of the gear that I use here, I've included Amazon affiliate links in the description. If you click the link and make a purchase of any amount, I'll receive a small commission without costing you a dime extra. I sincerely appreciate your time, your support, and I do sincerely hope to see you again soon, right back here on the couch.